And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100% agree. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big Sean McCarthy.
All right, it is time for the Weighing In podcast, coming to you live, well, maybe kind of live from Dallas, Texas. Look at the Punk sitting in his backyard, and that's because he's got an empty house with nothing but echoes going on inside it. So we're going to do this from the indoors and the outdoors. My man, how was the drive to Texas, and how you feeling?
I'm doing good, man. The drive was long. It was fun. It's crazy. You forget how small you are in this world until you're driving through the desert. And you just see mountains on one side. You see thunder rolling, lightning and thunder rolling in on one side, and you just feel like, wow, this is crazy, man. This thing is it's so big where we live. You don't realize until you're out there in the middle of nowhere. I took a panoramic shot with my phone, and I went, not full 360. I went a little bit more than 180. And the thing stopped, and it was still just nothing but skyline. It was so beautiful. I ended up stopping at the big colored rocks right outside of Las Vegas. They got those big stack stones that are out there. I don't know what they're called. I stopped there, took some pictures, and then I drove through to the Hoover Dam. Stopped there, took some pictures. Went out onto the bridge. I went out onto the dam, and I went out onto the bridge that overlooks the dam. When I went that way, I was gonna head out to Four Corners, which is like the four corners of Utah, New Mexico, Nevada. Yep. Yeah. And I was going to head out that way. But then for some reason, I swear I looked it up during the week, and it said, because I'd kind of mapped it out. And I was like, it said it was only 50 minutes away. No, more like 6 hours. It was 6 hours away. I don't know how I came up with 50 minutes. But I put it in after. Route. What do you mean?
It's different one. As soon as you went to Hoover, you're going away from the Four Corners.
No. It's on the way. It's on the way towards Utah. Yeah.
It's on the corner of Utah.
Yeah, it's on the corner of Utah. So it's on that way though. So it was on that way towards there, New Mexico, but it was 6 hours away, and I'm like, I just messed up somewhere, and so I canceled that and just headed straight down to Flagstaff. Got into Flagstaff, got a hotel.
So you were on the I-40.
Whatever that one. Yes, I was on the 40, which is one of the worst fucking highways I've ever been on. No fucking, it was the worst. I felt like I was driving on California roads. It was so bumpy, there were so many potholes. It was horrible. But the view is beautiful, man.
It is gorgeous up there.
John, I was driving through, and the funniest part is I'm driving through, and I was like, oh, is it fucking raining? Oh, no, it's not raining. Those are fucking bug splatters. Whap, 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 whap. Just fucking bam, bam, bam. I was like, what is that? I thought it sounded so loud. It sounded like big raindrops hitting. I was like, no, they were bugs. No, they were bugs. And they only lasted for probably about 10 minutes. But at the end of that 10 minutes, I had to pull over to a gas station because my windshield wipers just weren't wiping them away anymore. It was
it's just a smudge.
Disgusting. Yeah, it was just like a big, like you said, a big bug splatter, smudge all over.
I have a ton of family. My dad still has a home in Flagstaff. I have a ton of family living in Flagstaff. Shout out to Ray and Amy there and all the boys. But it's a beautiful place. It's just way up, and it's like 7,200 feet. Everyone thinks that, because it's Arizona, it's all pine trees and everything. It's beautiful, but man, there are some severe weather conditions and big ass bugs there too.
Yeah, it was nice though. Look, driving through, we didn't get to Preston. We didn't get to what's it called? What's the other one? So not Sonoma, Sedona.
Oh,
we didn't
Sedona?
I didn't get those areas, but went through Flagstaff. Beautiful area there. Hotel was nice. It was nice. I love when you get out of the car and you get that wood burning smell.
Did you stay at Little America?
No, I did not stay at Little America.
Stay at Little America.
No.
You see, you got to go with the history.
No.
The history of Flagstaff. Little America, man.
No, I stayed at the Montage. I'm not staying at fucking some hotel in the middle of nowhere, fucking without security. You fucking kidding me? Hell no. Fuck no. I had a blast though. It was a good trip. That stretch though after Albuquerque through like Amarillo and stuff.
I told you, Amarillo by morning, baby. That's long. Oh, dude.
I had to
I've
stop.
done it too many times.
I went through a whole bag of sunflower seeds just to get from fucking Albuquerque to fucking Amarillo. I was like, fuck. Oh, this is horrible, man. I didn't get in until about 3 a.m. I got no furniture. I actually had to bring. I'm sitting in a chair right now. It's an outdoor patio chair. I'm sitting in that I actually brought with me. I'm outside. It's beautiful. The only problem is I was gonna actually do it like with the pool in the background or whatever in the background. But the issue is that the way that the sun's not even up yet because it's really early in the morning here that we're filming. Thanks, John.
You're welcome.
And the sun, so I needed the light, so I have to face this certain way. So otherwise, there'd be no light on my face, which I know you all want. I know you all want to see my face.
I look at, I hear all the time, oh, Josh is so good looking. Fuck that.
Yeah, I am.
I'm going to make you as ugly as possible. I'm going to have big old splotches on you. Outside, doesn't matter, dude. Just
keep trying, buddy. Keep trying. What's funny is you've been making fun of my hairline. Everyone says, oh, I have a great hairline, but I'm starting to get a little thin here because I got all these cuts from the Tony Ferguson fight. So I've got scar after scar right here. I've got 3 Mercedes-Benz scars right here on the forehead, right there, like that. And so my hair doesn't grow there, obviously, because of the scars. And so I'm getting a little thin in that area. I'm getting a little nervous. I might lose my job with Bellator if I lose my hair
in a couple years.
And I can't afford to shave it because I got all these damn scars on my head. I had almost 100 stitches in my head before I even started fighting. Before I even started fighting, I had almost 100.
You got more than me.
I fell out of there's one time I fell off of a roof, split my head in the back. One time I fell off my grandparents' water slide, slid off the side of it because it was a curving one, slid off, hit my head on the concrete, split my head open on Father's Day, by the way. I had to go to the ER. I had to get 2 stitches on the inside to suture it back up because it was so close to my skull. And then they had to do 38 stitches on the outside. Yeah, I've got scars all over. I've got like 5 or 6 here. I've got like 14 on one side here. I've got, I jumped off of a rock when I was living up in Paradise, California, the town that burned down. I jumped off of a rock and did a backflip into the river and fucking hit my head on a rock. I'm surprised luckily I'm not paralyzed, but I split my head right here. My dad and I had just got there and he had just sat down and cracked a beer open and was sitting there on the one I come around the corner from around the bridge and the rock and I'm like blood just gushing down my face. He's like, oh, fuck. So we got in the truck and drove all the way back down the mountain to the fucking ER, stitched me up. I think it was like 24 stitches, 22 stitches, something like that. I had fucking close to 100 stitches by the time before I even started fighting. It's like, fuck.
I tell everyone, I'm very lucky that I have a full head of hair because I would look like a road map on top of my head.
Yeah.
And I have one that goes from the back all the way to the front. That was
Wow.
I'm working LAPD and I'm telling everyone, hey, I'm watching all these gangsters putting guns underneath this house, right? And I'm swoop down to arrest people and stuff, and it's got Constantine wire wrapped around this pole that you got to go under. And I kept telling you, hey, watch your head on that. Watch it. Who's the dumbass that fucking hit their head on that split me from here to here? All of a sudden, I hit it right, and I go, oh, that's not good. And I had to turn my head sideways.
Oh.
I actually had some elderly Hispanic lady actually come out and try to help me, right? And she's got a giant Kotex in her hand to try to absorb the blood that's coming out. I go, I'd rather bleed.
I love that. No. I'm surprised. Was it deep enough? She could have just put a tampon in there and just fucking.
Oh, it was deep, dude. It was nice. It was down. The one thing I will tell you is Constantine wire, because that's the razor wire.
Yes.
Got the little spike razor. It's sharp.
Yep.
It cuts really well.
I think that's kind of what his purpose is, John.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
But if you guys have ever met John, you guys need to walk up to him and ask him if you could touch his hair. You know how a lot of people like to touch Trump's hair? Like, they want to touch Donald Trump's hair and say if it moves, if it's real or not. The bottom line is you got to walk up to John. It's like one of those really nice, lavish, like hotel carpets that, like, you pour something on and the water just beads up and pours off the sides because they're childproof.
That sounds dirty now.
That's John. That's John. It's that hotel, that expensive hotel carpet that just beads up water and just rolls off the sides.
Luckily, it's just thick and has stayed there, man.
Yeah, so far. So, I mean, the hairline's going, but at least there's still some hair there.
Oh, no. This hairline's been there since I was 18, baby.
You must have thought when that thing started going back.
Man.
No. We're not done yet. You must have thought when that thing started going back.
No. That is, I got pictures. I can show.
You must have thought, man, I'm gonna be bald when I get young, when I get older.
No. You want to know what it was?
Yeah.
I was always told, and this is the truth. I was told, hey, because I had people in my family, cosmetologists. They go, as long as you have a loose scalp, And so I used to take my head and go, as long as you can move it, you won't go bald. Oh, dude, no problem.
Really?
Yeah. Tight scalp, loose scalp. You see, you got a loose scalp, and you'll see guys that go, they can't. I mean, it doesn't move. It's like, wow. Oh, okay.
So I guess when it's pulled real tight, right? No, the hair can't push through.
And that's where bald guys will sit there and tell you that's because I have so many brains that are pressing it against.
Oh, jeez.
Not true. Not
Listen
true.
to these guys. Yeah, you may have all that brain, but you ain't got no hair.
Ain't got no hair.
Jeez. All right, John, let's get started, buddy. What are we talking about first?
Well, let's talk about the UFC and the pay-per-view of 277 that happened from your backyard in Dallas, Texas there. Top to bottom, bottom to top. What do you want to do?
No, I think let's start just go right from the top. I mean, everyone, it's funny. I had a couple complaints that we actually started from the top, and I was like,
wow.
People
First off,
normally wants to get together.
What you need to figure out is there's people out there, they'll just complain about whatever. So
yeah, I've learned this.
That's why.
I've learned this.
That's why.
Yeah,
I don't read comments.
Yeah, but sometimes people write some nice not nice comments.
Do.
Sometimes people have some good questions. I sent
sure
Dave.
That's what Dave. That's podcast Dave's territory.
Yeah, but we don't have podcast Dave today. We've got
Gian.
We got Gian, the generic version.
Gian, you're not generic, baby.
Yeah, I'm just doing a hell of a job, producer.
We've been on freaking this thing for now an hour and a half and just starting, so this is perfect. All right, so let's talk about what occurred. Let's go from the top of the card, since I don't care what anyone wants. That's what people come for. That is the fight. It was Amanda Nunes taking on defending champion Juliana Pena. And Josh, I know what the scorecard said, but it was a hell of a fight.
Yeah.
Both ladies really just absolutely put it out there. Juliana Pena showed how freaking tough she is. She just had no quit. She had that mentality of, I would rather die than stop in this fight. She got waylaid a couple of times. You thought, you know what, there's a possibility the fight could end. Nope. She fought her way through it. The big difference was you can only take so much damage before you cannot effectively fight your opponent the way you want to.
This show is brought to you by butcherbox.com/weighing-in. Butcherbox.com/weighing-in is bringing you this episode. And guess what they're doing also? They're giving us
free bacon!
John has been waiting to say that all morning.
He's been
waiting to yell it. Of course, can't you tell? Look at his fine physique, as Conor McGregor would say.
Physique, thank you very much.
Oh, it is awesome, the fact that Big John loves bacon. But butcherbox.com/weighing-in. If you use our promo code weighing-in, they're going to give you free bacon for life as long as your membership is active, and they're going to give you $10 off your first buy of any products that you guys buy. I'm telling you guys right now, look, John and I have been using ButcherBox now for at least 6 months, and they are phenomenal. All the products that they send us, all free range, all grass fed, all wild. It is amazing. The fish is amazing. The pork chops are amazing. The bacon is absolutely insane.
Unbelievable.
Love it. And I'm actually jumping on this. They also offered previously some other specials as well for those first initial people that joined with them in the beginning. This time around, they're giving free bacon for life as long as your membership is active. If you use our promo code weighing-in, butcherbox.com/weighing-in. John, I'm telling you right now, with the way that things are costing in the grocery stores, butcherbox.com/weighing-in is the way to go. Use that promo code weighing-in. I'm telling you, I bought a ribeye the other day. One ribeye for myself cost me $75 at Costco, of all places. I don't have to worry about it now. I don't have to go to Costco, wait in line. I don't have to go to Safeway, wait in line. I'm going to wait in all these lines at the grocery stores where actually when you go now, there's barely any food on the shelves. So now I just have it delivered directly to my house. It's already frozen. I put it in the freezer. I use it when I need at butcherbox.com/weighing-in. Use that promo code weighing-in. Tell you guys right now, you will not regret it.
Amanda Nunes took damage too. Amanda Nunes showed a toughness that we have not seen in her recent fights because she had to get gritty in this fight, and she did. She changed her style. She went to the southpaw to make things different. It opened up her right hand, and it gave Juliana Pena nothing but fits in the fight. I thought it was an outstanding, although you look at the scores, 50-45, 50-44, 50-43, it was way closer than that as far as you always had the feeling that Juliana Pena was going to do something to pull this out. And she came close a couple of times. Yeah. She had good submission attempts. She was always in the fight, but Amanda Nunes just showed what she's made of. And man, she got that belt back, and you got to be impressed with her mentality, the work that she put into, preparing herself, how in a situation where a lot of fighters start to lose faith because they're blasting their opponents and they can't get rid of them, and all of a sudden you see them starting to psychologically lose it. She never did that. She just kept doing what she was doing, changed it up a little bit when she decided to go to the takedown. Great job. Unbelievable.
John, it really comes down to, and let me ask you this. Do you think in the last fight it was the motivation? Do you think,
yes.
Look, I continue to
say
beat
it all
these
the time.
people. It's that some days, look, you show up and it's not there. But then there's also some days, there's some camps. You're not the same person. You're not.
You can't get excited for that person.
That fire, that all those things are not there. You've seen fighters go through it. You've seen a lot of fighters go, like Jose Aldo was a champ. He hadn't lost in 10 years. Okay. Yep. Cyborg hadn't lost in some ridiculous amount of time. There comes a time where you just get tired. You get tired of beating the same people. You get tired of, you think, okay, look, it's just another one.
Just another one.
And eventually one's going to beat you. And Juliana Pena did that the last fight. Yeah. In this fight, you saw I have never seen her this lean. Never seen Amanda Nunes.
She looked great.
Lean. She looked phenomenal. The fifth round, she had energy.
Yep.
She took some shots. She delivered some shots. There was times where she took shots, and I saw the look on her face change from smiling to like, oh, shit, I'm still in this fight. I'm not cruising through her, even though I've dropped her 3 times in the second round. I'm not cruising through her. She ain't quitting. And people need to remember that big gash on her forehead, that wasn't from an elbow or anything. That was from a headbutt. They collided heads, I believe, in the 3rd or 4th round.
One
and
of them.
Blood.
Yeah.
No, the big one in the middle was from the headbutt, though.
Yeah.
The other one was from the elbow.
Yeah, that's the one where they came together, and you actually saw it. It hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt Amanda. You could see her stumble from it. So.
Yeah, I have a little relationship with headbutts, and refs not seeing.
Have you ever felt one of those? I don't know if you have.
Just here and there.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't think that
ever happened. They're not trained to
you.
see those things. It's sad that refs aren't trained to see these things, but it's sad. It's really sad. Juliana Pena, she's tough as nails. We know this. We've always known this. There's no quitting her. I don't want to take anything away from her performance because a lot of it goes towards Amanda Nunes. She came out prepared. She came out ready. She threw a wrench in there with switching southpaw. And when you realize what she did, and the reason why I feel like she did that, she realized that Juliana was planning on wrestling a little bit more. When you take a wrestler who is not somebody who has been training a specific way, having to shoot on a southpaw changes everything. And now it starts making you second guess how you get in on the takedown. If I lose this takedown, what's going to happen? If I don't get the takedown, okay, I just wasted all this energy. Is it worth shooting the takedown? It's changing up the flow of how you were hitting mitts and how you were hitting your takedowns off of hitting those mitts. There's so much preparation, John, and you know this. It goes into, I hit mitts a certain way based off of someone's stance. And I set up my takedowns that way as well off of certain things. And so I think for her, when she saw her come out and go southpaw, it switched everything. She wasn't wrestling as much. Her takedowns seemed like there was just like a rush in to grab the body.
It was.
Now, and that kind of concerned me a little bit, especially in the 3rd round when she just had no answer for the shots after the 2nd. She came out in the 3rd. Was it the 3rd or the 4th round with all the submission attempts? I thought it was the 3rd.
I'm lost with it.
Yeah.
It could have been either one. I know the 2nd round was all the knockdowns and stuff because I had that as a 10-8 round, but it was, when she threw up the armbar, the one was tight. the fence created a problem for her, and that's just part of the fighting surface, and it happens, and don't complain about it. It is what it is. But I love the fact that she never ever gave in. This is the way I look at it is this: she never relinquished that belt at any moment during that fight. Amanda took it. She took it in the end, but Juliana never relinquished it. She was always fighting for it, and I love that about it. Bless you.
Ooh. I've continued to say this, is that this is a tough sport.
Ooh.
And you've got to make adjustments. You got to make changes, especially in a 5-round fight. Juliana made some adjustments, but Amanda countered those adjustments. She went from striking in the first 2 rounds and then to getting the takedowns in the next 2 or 3 rounds. She really made those adjustments on the fly. And the same thing with Juliana. She made the adjustments as well as the time went on. I would have liked to, if I was going to make one critique about Pena, would be after you shot the submission attempts, was trying to sit up and get back to her feet, because there was no way, especially in the 4th and 5th round, I didn't see ways for her. I shouldn't say it. There was no way. The gap was closing. It was closing on her being able to get the submission with the blood, the sweat, the slipperiness, all of those things.
Yeah.
She had a couple opportunities and chances, but she kept going to the same arm. She kept doing the same setups. And then once you start feeling those, you start understanding what they're doing, you start countering them right away. You start clearing the elbow a little bit faster. Amanda was doing. She was doing a great job of that. Yeah. I hope and continue. I would hope that we continue to see Amanda Nunes come in at this level, because there's days where you look at fighters and you go, this is the person that I remember being the champion, not the one that lost last time. This is the one that will continue to make a run and continue to just devour this division if she can, if she chooses to be this fighter. I mean, when I talked about, people thought I was fucking crazy, this and that. I said, she has a new baby. Now, sure, she's had a baby for a year or two. I think it's almost 2 now.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like guys, you don't you think just because you have a baby, okay, look, the nostalgia's over after 3 months? Fuck no, it's not. There's that, just getting adjusted, leaving ATT.
Huge.
So she's not an American top team anymore. Has her own facility, her own gym, calling it her own home, her own that. John, we've owned business gyms. The last thing that you're fucking doing is focusing on your fucking fight camp.
Yeah.
And she was able to come out here and perform the way she was. Great job. Great comeback. Great in terms of comeback fight after that loss. She came out and put on one hell of a performance. You got to tip your hat to her, man. And I loved what I loved also, John, is she can be what do they call her? The lioness?
Yeah.
She can be that lion. She can be whatever you want to call her. But every round, she shook Juliana Pena's hand, and they went back to their corners. She's fucking nothing but respect. Yeah. Great fighter. Great person we've met. I've met her a bunch of times. I know you have, obviously.
Yeah.
But I never really sat and talked with her. Maybe one time, I think years ago. She was fighting. She fought in Strikeforce a long time ago. Like, she is a fantastic fighter. She's a great person. And congratulations to her. She fought a very, very good fight. Very good. But, John, where does she go from here? She's kind of wiped out the division. Do we see her and Valentina again?
I don't know. It's a fight that I would like to see again, based upon just styles and the way they fight and stuff. Valentina has been fighting, in the flyweights, and I think she's in that same position as what we talk about with Amanda. Is it's when you are the one coming up, when Juliana is coming up and she's going to fight Amanda the first time, there's a target. She's got a target. She's got something she can focus on. Mm-hmm. And with that focus, every time you step in the gym, there's a purpose behind it. When you're Amanda and you're the champion, it's hard to find that focus. It's hard to find that target that you want to go after and stuff. And after a while, after beating all of these different ladies and stuff, it becomes, I really don't care about that person. That one doesn't excite me. And when things don't excite you, you put less into the training for it. And you've got to have that thing that drives you and makes you go to the gym and scares you. And no matter what, people talk all the time about, oh, I'm not afraid. You're afraid of, people are afraid of everything. And fear is not a bad thing. It's what you do with the fear that determines what you are. And Amanda had fear. That's why when, she talked to, her old coaches and stuff, she talked about quitting because she was not a fear of being beat up, but a fear of not doing things the way she knows she can do them, not the way she had done it in the past. And that can drive you. And I think it did. And she didn't want to have a performance. She had a fear of performing possibly the way she did in the first fight against Juliana. She said, that ain't going to happen. I'm going to make sure it didn't happen. And you could tell she put in the work. She put in the work to make that a reality, and it was.
There's a fear of there's not a fear of losing. There's not a fear of getting punched in the face. There's not a fear of getting head kicked. There's not a fear of any of that stuff. You know what the biggest fear I think a lot of people have, fighters have specifically, is being embarrassed.
Yes.
That's it. Like they don't have a fear of losing. They don't have a fear of getting hit, elbowed. They don't have any of those fears. It's me and you versus, me and you in one cage, just fucking seeing who the best fighter is. There's that. Now you brought up a good point. It's hard for her I think it was hard for her. Like I felt like it was hard for certain fighters throughout their years to get motivated for certain people. You see it a little bit with Gegard Mousasi. You see it a little bit I saw it a little bit, it seemed like with Jose Aldo towards the end.
Sure.
The motivation, there's different fights that were just, you could tell it didn't look like it motivated him. Nothing against those fighters that you saw it against, but I heard in the interview, the post-fight interview with Drew Dober, he's turned down fights because he knows they're not going to be exciting and they don't motivate him. That's one thing that I always wish that I would have done, because there's fighters that just didn't motivate me, and I took those fights and they were fucking horrible. They ended up being horrible fights. And then you need to have those fighters that bring the best out in you. And so when a fighter says, hey, I want to fight that guy, or that female says, I want to fight her, it's because there's a little motivation there. We saw it in the last fight. Juliana Peña's been calling for that fight forever. She got it, and look what she did. Whereas Amanda was like, whatever, you're just another talking mouthpiece. That's whatever, whatever.
Just another one in line.
Look what happened. Yep. There's those now you needed her now to spark that fire, which is what she got, and look at what we got the result of. Juliana Peña had a great fight last night, but she was one step behind, maybe even sometimes 2 steps behind. She's never stopped fighting, but that's the dog that she is. She does that. She's nasty. She came out. She never stopped trying. That armbar was close. You
never want to call a lady a dog.
No, I get it.
There's nothing but respect with that word, because, man, she was a junkyard dog.
But there was, in that, when she almost got that armbar, really what kept Amanda safe was the fence. Because she wasn't able to go all the way to her back. Yep. Had that fence not been there, she would have been armbarred. I believe that she would have been finished. And so that was one of those situations where Amanda Nunes got very lucky in that situation, and then fought her way out, and then and then even almost got caught again in another armbar. But there was segments in that fight where you're like, man, you can't sleep on Juliana Peña, Amanda. You've got to make sure you keep this thing going the whole way. The motivation that I was talking about with Drew Dober, there was plenty of situations where, same thing for myself, other fighters talk about it all the time. When you hear a fighter say, hey, I want that fight, there's a reason why that person wants that fight. It's not always because they're ranked higher. It's because that person motivates them. They're encouraged by the fact that fighter goes out there and fights his ass off. And I think he or she knows they're going to bring the best out in them. Those are the type of fights that you prefer to fight. Those are the fighters that motivate you. And I think in this situation, the two of these two females, I could see them running it back here shortly.
Are they going to?
If I'm Dana White,
does Juliana deserve? We talk about this all the time. Look at this, was her first defense. She loses it. Does she deserve a rematch based upon what you saw?
I don't think an automatic rematch. No, I think you give her one person. Give me an idea who though. Give me that one person, and we go from there. Yeah, you could. I mean, Juliana's going to have a hard time with her, but I think submission-wise, I think Juliana's a better submission person. Now, Caitlin's good on the ground, but, I mean, she's – who knows? Let's see. Vieira, you've got – that's bantamweight, right? You got Holly Holm. I mean, you could see Amanda and Holly, but, I mean, Holly's getting up in age. She looked a lot slower in her last fight. No matter how much you train. No matter how much you train, it doesn't matter. Like the Father Time's undefeated. All right. Well, hey, we beat that. We beat that fight with dead horse with a stick kind of thing. I don't even know what that means.
But it was a great fight. So it deserved every bit of it. It was.
It was a great fight.
Brandon Moreno taking on Kai Kara-France for the interim belt.
This show is brought to you by Blue Chew. John, temperatures aren't the only thing rising this summer. That's right. This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, confidence can take you far in life. It can also help you in the bedroom. John knows a little bit about that. I know a little bit about that.
I'm a wood expert. You know I work with wood all the time. I'm a freaking wood expert, so I know all about good wood.
That's where Blue Chew comes in because John knows about he knows about the wood. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets at a fraction of the cost. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. In the mail. No awkward conversations.
You know the best part about that?
In person.
You know the best part about that, Josh Thompson?
John, what's the best part?
All you got to do is chew it and do it.
Chew it and do it.
That's it.
Women say that there's confidence is everything, especially in the bedroom, and Blue Chew can help give you confidence where it counts. That is in the bedroom. I need it. John, well, I don't know. John's pretty confident about those things. So if you could benefit from a little extra confidence when it's time to perform, Blue Chew can help. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free for the first month when you use the promo code weighing in at checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code weighing in to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com. Use that promo code weighing in for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this podcast, and we thank our listeners for helping us out.
You got to love both guys.
Mm-hmm.
I love Kai Kara-France, and I love his attitude, and I love what he was trying to do in there. And at times, man, he was winning that fight. Beautiful sticking and moving, good accuracy. He had power. He made Brandon Moreno respect him. But again, it's the dog. It's that, I'm going to say it's that Mexican mentality that, it's come up through the boxing ranks that if you're this Mexican fighter, you need to be this tough guy. Well, Brandon Moreno's that tough guy. And body shots. That's part of Mexican lore when it comes to the boxing realm.
Kick,
well,
calm down.
Come on, it was,
body
dude.
Kick.
It was a
Calm
kick.
Down.
But
I might be half Mexican. I got the worst left hook in the game.
Yeah, we know that.
No left hook, man. No left hook.
It was competitive throughout. It was a good fight, and then Kai Kara-France opened up a nice cut with that elbow. There was a lot of things going on, and I actually thought that, at the point where just before that happened, I thought Brandon was starting to press a little too much. I thought Kai Kara-France actually had the fight going the way he wanted it to be going. And one shot changes everything, and that's part of fighting. But Brandon Moreno, second time as champion. I love what he said afterwards, with Figueiredo and stuff. The whole thing. I think the change of camps, I didn't really see that much difference in his style or anything like that. So the whole thing with the camps, I don't think it made that much of a difference. Good thing for James Krause. He's got a champion. He deserves that. But Brandon Moreno getting a second time. This Devinson Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno thing is going to be going on for the next decade.
Jesus. We're lucky. We're lucky. We're going to end up seeing these guys get after it several times. This is one of those, like, if you could watch Shogun and Dan Henderson a bunch of times, like, this would be one of those fights, right? Like, there's just certain fights that you just see that they're not one-sided. They're back and forth. Both of them have moments. I mean, it's one of those fights that, like, especially for that division, they need it. Everyone keeps telling me, like, Bellator should have 125. I'm like, you guys don't get it. You guys got to remember, just recently, the UFC was talking about getting rid of the division.
Yeah.
They were talking about it because there's not a lot of guys at 125. Like, there's not a lot of females at 145 and 155.
That's right.
Like, they're just not there. So no. I don't think you're going to see it in Bellator, and I don't think. But I do respect these fighters. They are really, really good. But it's very rare do you find fighters that are 125 or men that are 125. So it's like I think I was a small person when I was growing up, but I mean, like, I was 125 sophomore year in high school. Sophomore year, I was tiny though. I was 4'8", man.
I was 125 in the third grade.
Yeah. Oh, I could see that. I could definitely see that. But overall, good fight. I thought Kai France. He had moments in the fight. He did. This is the nature of the beast, man. When you talk about body shop, it really paralyzes you. There's not much. There's nothing you can do. Realistically, the thing is, there's a switch in your head. You need to just switch and just continue to try to fight, and then hopefully it goes away. But your body just wants to seize up in that fetal position because you're just trying to open up your muscles are all seized. Your body is trying to open up the
easiest way that I can explain it to people is think about trying to fight while you're throwing up, because it's very the seizing of your body.
Happened to me a couple of times, John.
Well, the seizing of your body when you're in that that's but it's more painful.
Yeah.
All right, we had to make a change because Josh was getting baked in his Dallas backyard.
Careful how you say that, man. People have been saying that because we've been
baked by the sun.
We've been filming a lot real early in the morning. Everyone's like, Josh is high again.
Oh, dude, people say I'm high all the time. I love that. It's like, really?
I'm like, what do you mean?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because I wake and bake every morning at 4 a.m., right?
But
we're filming the podcast.
The best is when people go, man, John's starting to look old. Really? Guess why? Guess why?
Starting to look old? Wow.
Starting to look old. My wife, because my wife will read those comments sometimes, and she'll tell me, and she goes, people say you're starting to look old. I go, wow, people are bright.
Yeah, they just figure this out. Oh, man. All right, let's go to the next one.
All right. Sergey Pavlovich against the man, the beast, Black Beast, Derek Lewis. I love Derek Lewis. Just, I said it last week. I said this is a bad style matchup for him. And I thought it was just going in because Sergey is very good with his hands. He's a good boxer. He throws good shots. And we've seen guys that can control distance against Derek can give him problems. And I looked at the size and strength, and I think that Derek is unbelievably, fast and powerful for as big a guy as he is, but he needed to be in the top position on the ground to get a win against someone like Pavlich in this. And I did not agree, with the stoppage. I thought it was early, and it was because those guys going into this fight. It's not like, these are new young guys. You know what Derek Lewis does. You know that he has come back in fights where he has been hit and has gone down, and you know the way that he does go down. He doesn't usually go to his butt. He tends to kind of go down towards his face, down, ass up position, but he tries to fight his way through it, and you got to give him that time. And I know Dan was trying to protect him, but there comes that point look, he's a professional fighter. This is his job. And yeah, he got touched, but he wasn't getting touched that much in the flurry. He got hurt before it, and he was trying to work his way through it. And it's the way that he went down is why Dan stopped it. I understand why, but, it's unfortunate. I would have liked to have seen. I don't think the results would have changed. I don't think Derek was going to beat Sergey in this fight, but you don't want to see something where you can have controversy in it and say he popped right up, and he did. But these are the chances you're taking when you put yourself in those positions.
All right, this episode is brought to you by MyBookie.ag. Use our promo code weighing in, and MyBookie.ag will give you an additional amount of money with your first initial deposit. John, we've been using MyBookie for, almost 2 years now, and they've been doing us right. They've been doing our supporters and our listeners right. We love the fact that they support us. And what I also love is that they started getting away from the fact that you had to keep spending your money over and over and over. Your
they
winnings,
listen
I
to
should
us.
say.
They listen.
Our listeners are saying they would like to they pull their money out as soon as they win, but they said, you know what, we'll do you guys a favor, because a lot of online sites don't allow you to pull your money out until about 4 or 5 more deposits. Go to mybookie.ag, use our promo code weighing in, get that little extra spending cash with your first initial deposit, and go ahead and lay down some bets on some odds and stuff that John and I give you from mybookie.ag. I'm telling you guys right now, after you guys win, you only got to spend your winnings one time. Okay, and then you can be able to pull them out. That's great to hear, because like I said, we had some complaints, not just from them, but a lot of online sites do that. They make you spend it over and over and over again until eventually it's gone, but not mybookie.ag. Use our promo code Wayne, and we want to continue to thank you guys for supporting us. We want to continue to thank mybookie.ag for supporting us and our listeners. I can see why Dan did it.
Yeah. But it was early. It's early. It's not horrible, but it's early.
I think if you're Derek Lewis, it's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Yeah. Like jumping up.
I agree.
It's almost that Robbie Lawler, Herb Dean situation.
No, that was totally different. Totally different.
Stoppage. Stoppage is a stoppage to a fighter. They don't care if it was fucking. It was a waste of 8 to 10 weeks in a camp, and like sometimes no win money. So I'll think for Derek Lewis. And then here's the other thing. This guy, no matter how much you love him, dude, stop fighting in Texas. You got the worst luck here in your home state.
Man,
go somewhere else.
Doesn't he? What is with
Fight
that?
somewhere else.
I mean, if you take a look at his record, what he's got 10 losses, half of those have to be in frickin' Texas.
Yeah, I think he's got 4 of them. I think they're in Texas.
God,
that's crazy.
I feel bad for him.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good fighter.
He's
in the heavyweight division. Yeah, he's hysterical. This is the fight game. It happens. I mean, refs. They make mistakes. They're human. They do what everyone else does. I mean, they miss headbutts. They do early stoppages. Sometimes
I've never seen one headbutt missed ever.
Never in the history. We just talked about one in the main event.
wasn't missed. It was a headbutt.
It was a headbutt.
The real thing is, real fighters work their way through headbutts.
Wow. Interesting. Very interesting.
I had
so surprising.
Come on, I had to. Yeah. You come to me, I gotta go, man.
Jeez. I mean, they just got to stop hiring those senile refs that don't have any glasses. They can't see. They can't keep up with the live action. The speed of which some of these fighters possess. Look at myself. But,
yeah, that was part of the problem.
You just couldn't keep up. You couldn't keep
there
up.
Was none.
Yeah, it was so much speed. So much speed. You couldn't even see it happen. It was happening so fast.
Yeah.
All right, but it's an unfortunate situation, but it's the nature of the beast, man. It happens. Derek Lewis will be back. We're going to see him again.
Oh, yeah.
And Pavlovich, what do we see with him? He's making his run right now.
Man, I'll tell you what. Like I said, he's good, and he's in that position where he's difficult to deal with. It's going to take a specific guy. I would, you talk about the boxing angle and everything. I would love to see him and Ngannou fight. It would be if someone's going to get knocked out. Could it be that Ngannou beats him? Yes. Could it be that Pavlovich he wins? Possible, but he's moved himself into that position where he's going to be in somewhere around the top 5 now. Yeah. And
him and Tuivasa would be a good fight.
See, I don't know. I look at that. I think that's a bad fight for Tuivasa because Pavlovich is good at keeping guys at range. He's good at using his length, and he is long. He's got long arms. I think he's got, he's right at about 83-inch reach.
Jeez.
I mean, he's big. And so I don't know if that is a good fight for Tuivasa because Tuivasa is a brawler while Sergey's more of a technical stand-up guy. Not saying that Tuivasa, but, if you're going to look at a fight that would be interesting, I'm not sure that John Jones is going to be, fighting Stipe. Maybe he is, but Stipe Miocic against Sergey, that would be a good fight.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, next fight. Pantoja.
This is the guy, man. I loved everything he did. He went out there. against a guy in Alex Perez who's got good hands, is a good wrestler, tough guy, walked right through him, didn't respect anything as far as the stand-up, and just he did what you're looking for someone to do, to say, I deserve a title shot. Has he fought Kai Kara France? Because I know he fought Brandon Moreno.
Yeah, he fought Brandon Moreno. I remember that.
I did that long ago. It was in the Ultimate Fighter, because Brandon Moreno was the last rank. The matchmakers did a whole.
Yeah, he did right there.
2016.
Yep.
Okay, he's okay.
Ultimate Fighter season 24.
So he's fought both of them, and then I know he fought Brandon Moreno again. Put that back more towards the. Okay, he's got a win right there against Brandon Moreno, a decision on Fight Night on 129. And so I'm looking at this is a guy. What more do you want from him?
Yeah.
He's beaten both of those guys. He's beaten. The only one he hasn't beaten is Figueiredo. He lost to Figueiredo by a decision, but this is a guy who's done everything that he can do.
He lost to Askarov. He lost to Askarov.
Yes, he did.
Super
but
tough.
he's won his last 3, and he's beat those guys. He deserves a shot. The real question is, well, now you've got the interim champion in Brandon Moreno. You've got the actual champion in Figueiredo. He's going to be sitting again. He's just in that position. You look and you go, I feel bad for you. I love the way you fought. I thought you did great. You did everything you were supposed to do. You did it inside of the cage. You did it on the mic. I can't ask for anything more. Yeah. It's just that I can't put you up against Figueiredo right now because I got Moreno.
Yeah, true. I mean, Pantoja fought a good fight. Alex Perez came up short. Pantoja fought very smart in terms of, let me put you on your back foot as fast as possible, try to catch you sleeping.
Yep.
Try to put you in these positions that you're not used to. Maybe you're a slow starter. Maybe Perez is someone who just wants to get into the groove, find the range. He never let him do that. He pushed him on his back foot. He made him react, and he wasn't ready for what Pantoja brought to this fight right off the bat.
Yeah.
There's people, you hear the feeling out period. Most fighters are like, yeah, I'm going to get the feeling out period. Sometimes fighters just can't, you know what?
There's some guys that don't care about that.
Let's just go. Let's just see what happens. Let's go right now and figure this out. And he went out there and did that. And that's what you have to do. And it's funny because I kept hearing them say, he wants to make a statement. He wants to make a statement. Well, he went out and made a statement last night. He went out there and showed that he can push the action. He wasn't afraid to get it right up in the grill of Alex Perez, and he did exactly what he needed to do to get the win. Nicely done. Nice transitions. Great job. On to the next one. We'll see exactly how it all works out for him, but he's gonna have to wait now. He's gonna have to sit and wait. If you look at the rankings, right? Go down to the rankings. There it is, right there. You got Kai, who just lost. You got Askarov ahead of him. He just beat Alex Perez. I mean, you really just have Pantoja and Askarov. Moreno's going to fight Figgy, so you may have Askarov and Pantoja fight next, but I doubt it, only because they don't want to lose another number 1 contender. Because, like I said earlier, there's not a lot. These guys are good. Don't get me wrong. They're good. But this division needs people to build up stars. And let me give you an example. Tim Elliott's good, but he's still ranked in the top 10. Matt Schnell is good. How do you say it? Mateus Nicolai. He's good. Perez is good. Royval is good. That top 5, top 6 is really good. But the ones below that still need a little bit more tweaks here and there. They need a little bit more experience. They need a little bit more high-level competition under the bright lights. They need a little bit more exposure to get them ready for that title shot. The ones that I see that have that exposure right now are Moreno, France, Askarov. Pantoja just put himself on that level right now. Royval and Alex Perez. The rest of them all need more exposure before they get into that main event or co-main event status. They need couple, 1 or 2 more fights at that next level of being the co-main event or the main event on these shows. I don't think they'll be main events because they're smaller and they don't have the name recognition, but I think they're going to be in that mid-level card, and a chance to prove themselves how Pantoja was last night. They'll get that chance here soon. So, all right, next fight.
We'll see.
Let's go.
So
come
again,
on, Gian.
Oh, come on. We had Magomed Ankalaev against Lionheart in, Anthony Smith It's unfortunate. What are you going to say? You know, he hurt himself. You could see when he was walking back after I don't know exactly where it was that he broke his ankle, if it is broken, or his lower leg. Mm-hmm. But you could see when he was walking back, he was walking with a limp.
Yeah.
And then he came out and he tried for that takedown. He didn't have any ability to drive off of it. He ends up trying to, pull guard, and hold on to it. It's just, injuries. They happen. And sometimes they happen based upon, things that we don't really see. We don't really, notice in the fight, but it happens. And we've seen it in the past. Guys have broken their legs off of one kick, either blocking it or throwing it, and all of a sudden, they're in trouble. And Anthony was trying to figure out how he could, fight against a guy like Ankalaev. You're not going to do it with a broken leg. You're tough. I take nothing away from you. It's just a bad, set of circumstances. All you can look and do is say, hey, man, you know what? Just throw that one away. Suck it up. Get yourself healed up and come back and do it again. Because I actually thought as the fight was starting off, I thought Anthony was actually fighting smart against Ankalaev. I thought he was doing well. He was trying to control a lot of the range. Ankalaev was good at that. He was looking for the counters when Ankalaev would throw. He was looking to finish things off. Everything he was doing, smart game plan. Yeah. It's just the injury took away everything.
Yeah, I didn't see enough to see whether he was doing well or not. I know that I get what you're saying. There wasn't a lot of action in that first round. I looked at it as he was fighting smart in terms of he wasn't taking a lot of risks that put himself in danger.
Nope.
But he was also keeping Ankalaev at bay, which may have been the game plan.
Yeah.
And then maybe try to get him, in the second round. The injuries happen all the time. This is the situation where he is. I'm sure there's a lot of frustration that was going along with this. You go back to the corner, you realize what's wrong. Damn, this hurts. I can't walk. I can't push off. I've got to change what I'm doing right now. He went out, gave it the best he could. This is the fight game, man. Yep. I mean, this is the fight game. He fights. He's fought everyone. He's not afraid of anyone. The fact that he came back out, and continued to try to fight, that says a lot about him and his character. So just like you said, forget about it. Throw it in the back. And let's move on to the next one.
I don't think there's ever a doubt about the character of Anthony Smith.
He seems like a great guy.
He's proved that character multiple times in situations where he could have done the easy thing and gained from it.
Yeah.
He didn't do that. And I love Anthony Smith. I'll watch the guy all the time. He is a true fighter. He is a classy guy. He's super nice when you're around him. He was very upset in the first fight that I had with him, which is against Roger Gracie. And it was like, he says, John, I'm going to knock him out. Well, he got submitted. And I said, well, it's okay. He goes, no, it's not okay.
Strikeforce, right?
Yep.
He's another guy from Strikeforce. All right. Alex Moreno versus, I don't know how you say this guy, Semmelsberger.
Semmelsberger. Alex Moreno. He is just, you take a look at a guy, you see him on the street, people are going to go, I whipped that dude's ass. Alex Moreno, first off, his ground game is solid as hell. It's when he first came into the UFC, it was all about his jiu-jitsu. He is very good. He's very good off his back. He's got a great guard, but his hands have gotten really good. And I'll tell you what,
his jab.
I was not
jab
sure.
Has gotten really good.
Yeah. I was not sure going into this. I thought if he could get the fight to the ground, he was going to win it. I thought he was better than Semmelsberger there, but I thought, not sure if he can handle the power and get his shots in on Semmelsberger. And he was able to, man. That jab, like you said, it was just the technical side and timing. His timing was good. He put the shots on him, and man, I'll tell you what, the first two rounds, I was like, wow. Alex Moreno, man, and people can, they just don't give this guy enough credit. He is a good fighter. Solid.
Yeah. If you guys are listening to this at home, obviously you guys, if you're hearing me say this, you're listening to
you're listening to this.
But take a look at when someone is really good on the ground. You saw it in the main event. Juliana Pena, every time she got rocked, she just went to her back. She knew that Amanda Nunes wasn't just going to jump into her guard. She invited her into her guard. She didn't know whether she would or not, but she was like, come on down here. And Amanda was like, absolutely not. So that didn't happen. Now, in this situation here, Alex Moreno never got dropped, but he was in trouble in that third round. But Moreno, he also, though, was somebody that he knows that his opponent isn't going to take him down or try to hold him down or try and get on top. So in this fight, it doesn't matter what he does. He could throw head kicks. I remember Nino Schrember used to do this in the Pride days.
Oh, yeah.
He would throw head kick after head kick after head kick because he knew no one was going to jump into his guard. He's like, come on down here. And they're like, yeah, no, thank you. So they would always avoid the guard as much as they could. In certain situations, when you have somebody who is phenomenal on the ground, the risk of saying, hey, like you see it with Charles Oliveira, he does it all the time. He gets dropped. He's like, come on down here. And everyone's like, fuck you. Like, no, thank you. And that's the benefit of having a very well-rounded game, especially a really good grappling game. A lot of these fighters will not sometimes jump into someone who is considered to be a top-level jiu-jitsu practitioner or a good jiu-jitsu, an MMA jiu-jitsu fighter. And so Moreno's got that, and Semmelsberger or whatever, just he had landed that beautiful knee in the beginning of the third. And he almost got him out of there, but he did what most fighters do. He smothered himself.
Crushed the space.
Moreno put himself into the deep half, made his transition back up to the feet, and Semmelsberger just basically gassed himself out trying to finish in positions he was never going to be able to get a finish in because of the deep half and on the leg and all those other positions. And so Moreno fought a very smart fight even after he was rocked. Great job, great performance. The jab was on point. The jab did a lot of damage. The grappling is something that forced Semmelsberger to fight a fight that he didn't want to fight. Great job. Great performance by Moreno. Nice job.
Yeah.
But the guy that I am really starting to really enjoy watching fighting, I've always kind of liked watching him fight, but he's kind of winning me over, man, because of the post interview with Rogan. You've turned down fights that didn't motivate you, that you thought weren't going to be exciting. You've turned them down, and I'm thinking to myself, dude, you're brilliant. You are brilliant for that. A lot of fighters got to start sticking up for themselves and doing that. Like the UFC has a game plan on what they want to do. But young fighters like, hey, start sticking up for yourself. Like, look, this fight's not going to be good. It's going to be a boring fight. I know maybe you don't want to hear me say that, and maybe you want me to make it exciting, but it takes two people. We've seen this over the years. It always takes two people to make this fight exciting. Right. And you want to have that. It's always about having the right dance partner. And he seems to always find a way to put himself in with the right dance partner. And this was no different. You know, Alves was a tough dog. Oh, that whole after the eye poke situation, and then the break dance, and the big shots. And I thought it was
come on.
The
he
best
pushes the doctor
happen.
Away.
Yeah.
Then he goes over and he gives him a hug. I thought it was the best. That doctor was feeling all butthurt for a while. Then he was like, "Oh, okay, I feel better."
John, I've always dreamt of doing that. I just never did it.
That was great.
I always dreamt of just being like, I always dreamt of when the doctor walks in the cage of pointing to the exit and going, get out of here. Get out of here. I've always thought about that. I've always dreamt about doing that. I just never had the opportunity. I didn't get poked in the eye a lot as a fighter. I got poked, I think, one time by Gil. I can't remember one of the other times.
Did you ever get headbutted?
Nuts by Gil. Yeah, not that I remember.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I heard it happen, but not that I remember.
I love it.
Drew Dober fought his ass off. Great performance. Great fighter. I'm excited to see him fight. I can't wait to continue to watch him fight. When I look at that division, right, it's crazy to think, is he in the top 15?
I think so.
I think he is. I think he's like number 14 or something like that. Lightweights. Where are we at, buddy? Charles.
Nope. No, he's right there.
No, he's not.
Stop.
Is he there?
What are you doing, Gian?
He doesn't know what he's doing, John.
Go up.
Lightweight, there you go.
Oh, yeah, that's lightweight. Stop.
There's no chance.
Oh, my God, you're going back down. You're killing me. You're at number 13. I don't need to see the pictures. I need to see the names.
You're right there.
There
you go. Yeah.
Nope,
like I said, no Drew Dober.
Damn. And to think, he's fun. He's exciting. He's talented. I mean,
this stand-up is clean. It's crisp.
But he's no slouch on the ground.
Power.
He's got good wrestling.
Yeah, he does. It's
I don't know if people remember. He almost caught Islam in a arm-in guillotine. He snapped something on Islam real tight, and everyone knows I'm a homer from a boy, but that shit was tight. It had Islam go to his back, and then Islam fought his way out of it.
I don't remember him going to his back.
I believe it was Dober. I think it was Dober that did that.
You're mixing fights up here.
I don't know if I
am. I think you're mixing fights up. That's okay.
I want to pull that up.
You've been hit a lot. It's okay.
I believe Dober almost caught. I wouldn't say almost caught him, but he made him go to his back and then try to bridge him over, and he was able to escape and get on top. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
All right, John.
Maybe.
All right, John.
We'll see.
I'm gonna have to look it up and send it over.
You're gonna have to watch that fight again now.
You son of a gun.
Look, Drew Dober is fun to watch because he comes to fight and he gives it everything he has. And he took some shots. He took some hard shots from Alves in that fight, and by the second round, he was understanding the range, the speed difference, and I think there was a little bit of speed difference. I think Dober compensated for it. He started landing accurate shots, and that just switched everything over into his court. And I mean, it is what it is. When you take a look, a body shot, it is a KO, and it is it's not a knockout. It's not his brain is disconnected, but his body is disconnected from his brain because he cannot control his body based upon that body shot. And it was beautifully done and hit right in that below the sternum area that puts your body into your solar plexus, just start to spasm. You can't breathe right. Everything's tightened down. I take nothing from Alves. I thought he was fighting a great fight. He was fighting hard. He was explosive. Just Dober did what he does. And when he was able to control the range and able to come in and land his shots and move himself out and starting to become effective, that's when he went to the body. And he did it repeatedly throughout the fight. Eventually, one of them paid off. He's a guy you'll always watch because he comes to fight. And maybe it is exactly what you're saying. He'll wait for the guy that's going to be the guy that interests him, that makes it to where he goes, yeah, that's someone that I think I can have a good fight with. So,
yep. No, I agree. And I hope to see him continue to fight. If I look at the rankings, pull up the rankings again there, buddy.
He's not in it.
No, I know he's – John, I'm going to jump through this microphone. We've established that he's not in the rankings, okay, buddy?
Well,
we established
I'm not sure that Gion's going to be able to get all the way down to the top 15 there.
Well, look, here's the thing. You got Dan Hooker in the division. He's in the top 13. I'd like to see that fight. Have they already fought?
No.
Can you look it up?
I don't
think they have.
I don't think they have.
I would love to see that fight. I see Dober and Dan Hooker. That'd be a fucking great fight.
It would be a great fight. Very good. Look at that background behind Dober there.
Strike Force, really old school days. That's
Tells you he's been around a while.
Yeah. Jeez. Nazareth Hatzarov, Alexander Hernandez. I mean, look at the guys he's lost to. He's lost to Brad Riddell, and he's lost to Islam.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. You have to
sound like Joe
got
Biden.
a couple more
Jesus,
there.
Shut up. Jeez. I mean, good. He's got some good wins. Got some good wins over some tough fighters. He just beat Terrence McKinney and then Alves too. Good stuff, man. I know they're not ranked. Those guys are not ranked, but those are tough fights. Brad Riddell and Islam Makhachev. I mean, Islam fighting for the title next. I mean, tough fights, man. Tough fights. He's in there. He's always trying to fight the best guys. Those are fights that you want to see. You want to hear fighters. Him and Bobby Green would be a fun fight.
That would be a good fight.
Him and Bobby Green would be a fun fight.
Now you're being a matchmaker. I like that one, Josh Thompson.
John, I'm really good at this job. Okay? I know what I'm doing.
But again, Bobby's not in the top 15.
No, he's not. But still, that would still be a fun fight. I'm looking for fun fights. But I think him and Dan Hooker would be a fun fight as well. Dan would stand with him. They'd bang it out a little bit. He might wrestle Dan a little bit more, but I think that'd be a fun fight. All right, look, I don't know how to say this guy's last name, but I got to be honest. He reminded me a little bit of Kung Fu Panda. Kid was tough. Kid was good. He had a great first round. Was lost second round big, like how he won the first round big.
Yep.
Good fight. Great fight. Came out. Made the adjustments in the corner after the second round, and he came out and did some good work in that third round. Got a takedown. Did some nasty work on something. These are the fights that you want to see. Now he's a heavyweight. He's heavyweight.
Yo,
Yeah, heavyweight.
are you heavyweight?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
just
he
called
was
him
a
Kung
big
Fu
guy.
Panda.
Yeah, he was Kung Fu Panda. Yeah. You know, well, how do you say his last name?
Abdel Wahab.
Aldel Wahab. Phenomenal fighter, man. I loved watching it. The guy that he fought to, Mays, great fighter as well. Just they had some good exchanges back and forth. Both guys rocked each other, one in the first, one in the second, came down to the third round. Those are the kind of heavyweight fights I want to see. I want to see those kind of fights. Great action. They were getting after each other. I saw Masvidal tweeted out, I told you guys not to sleep on my boy. Well, I'm not sleeping on him anymore, man. I wish I could say his last name. But he is definitely someone I'm going to tune in to watch in the heavyweight division. He left it all out there. He was pushing the pace. He got exhausted in that third round just from getting the takedowns and stuff. He was tired. But now he knows he's got to work on a little bit more. He's work on that conditioning, that cardio. But great fight.
He took the fight short notice, though.
Oh, he did? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, he took the fight short.
I couldn't hear a lot of the stuff.
I want to say that he took it basically a week's notice or so. So maybe 10 days. So
good performance.
Very good performance. And showed, you know what? He's got good wrestling. He did a couple of very nice, slick takedowns, but he's willing to exchange on the feet. He sticks his head in there. When he got hit in the eye, it bothered him, and you could see it bothered him. And that's part of, when something like that happens, you've got to, it's had to happen in the past for you to be able to deal with it the right way. He collected himself. He got himself back in the fight. He survived that round, and then he came out and he took the first round, and he definitely took the third round. I cannot believe a judge gave Dontel Mays the third round. Crazy. This fight should never have been a split decision. Hamdi won the first round and the third round. Mays definitely won the second round. Easy 29-28, but sometimes we get crazy.
You say easy. Sometimes people want to make it more difficult.
Yes, there you go.
It's a good fight, though. Good fight. I was excited for that fight. As it was going on, I was like, holy shit, these guys were throwing down, back and forth action.
You texted me, hey, this guy's actually good.
This guy's good. I was like, hey.
Which for Josh Thompson to say about a heavyweight, that's saying something.
Yeah. I don't really give a shit about heavyweights, man. I've never been a heavyweight. I'll never be a heavyweight. I mean, like, look, they're like just overpaid sloths. They just rumble around in there and they just hang on each other.
Just like you
after
said,
the second round.
You've never been a heavyweight. You never will because we don't allow you in the class.
No. Look, if I could survive running around the ring or the cage for 1 minute or 2 minutes, you guys would be tired.
Remember Daiju Takasi?
Yes.
Remember him against Manny Yarborough? That's what he would do.
Just run around until you get tired.
Happens.
That's it. That's all I gotta do. You'll get tired of chasing me in about 2 minutes, and then I'll just
That's it.
Done. Fuck you up. Yeah.
That's it, man.
Yeah, I wish it was
all right.
easy.
Drakkar Klose fighting Rafa Garcia. It was really a good fight.
Great fight.
I thought Drakkar Klose fought one of the best fights I've seen him fight. He actually at times when he would start, and he did it a couple of times, start to lose that composure as far as started to overextend, started to do things to make it's like stop running forward and throwing shots like that.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought he fought a great fight. I think that him going back, he went back to the MMA lab where he had been training for a long time. I thought that it worked for him. He looked good. I thought Rafa Garcia fought a good, smart fight, fought a tough fight. In the end, the decision goes to Drakkar Klose, and I thought he deserved it.
Yeah, good fight, close fight, very tough fight. I thought it was very action-packed. I mean, they both had their moments in the fight. Yep. Garcia showed me a lot. He was willing to make the adjustments as the fight went on. He was getting hit with some shots. He started wrestling. And then that opened up some more of the shots back on the feet when they got back to their feet. Yep. Overall, great fight, man. Very close fight. I agree with you. But the right person won.
Yeah.
And that's the way I had it, too. So, John, are there any of these fights you want to talk about?
I gotta say, Michael Morales, the kid is good. He's tough because this time he had to bite down and he had to show a lot of some of the things that he was working on. I don't agree with some of the things that were said as far as he's throwing, you're taught not to do that and stuff. He's fighting his style, and I think his style is actually very difficult. I think he's got power in his hands. I thought Adam, who I've watched fight before, Adam Fugit, he's solid. He's very good with his wrestling. He's got a good jiu-jitsu game. He's solid in the stand-up. He's a well-rounded fighter. You just saw what a athlete and a kid that is got speed and power. In the end, that's what can happen. He ended it with, some good shots right at the end. I think Michael Morales is going to be someone you're going to be seeing in the UFC for quite a while.
Yeah, he's got a good look to him.
Yep.
He's got a good look. He's an exciting fighter. He's very marketable and those type of things that you're looking for. He when I look at young talent coming up, he's 14-0. Doesn't matter who he's fought. He's 14-0. Give him his due. 14-0 right now in this sport. No fights are easy. You can't sleep on any of them. And we've seen champions before, like we saw with the man Nunes last fight with Julian. You can't sleep on anybody. No one. These guys, any female or any male can whoop your ass any given day. And so the fact that he's 14-0, tip your hat to the young man. I mean, he's got a lot still to learn, but they're going to slow play him a little bit, I believe, because he is talented. What country? Where is he from?
Well, he's from Ecuador, I believe. Okay. But I think
look it up.
I think he said he was fighting out of Tijuana, Mexico.
Oh, interesting.
So, or that's
he's
what
talented.
They had up there. Yeah, he is.
He's got good hands, got a good look to him. He can throw down, and he's not afraid to take it. Like you said, bite down on his mouthpiece and deliver. Good stuff by him. Good stuff. Yeah. So, tip our hat. You will be seeing a lot more of him, I believe. And, moving on. All right, hey, that's going to wrap up our UFC talk. Great night of fights, especially that main card. It kind of lived up to it. The prelims had good back and forths in some of the fights. But definitely something to be talked about. Let's talk about some news. Let's go. Jake Paul fight canceled due to flap. What do they call that?
Due to what?
Over Hassim, over his overweight, basically his hydration.
Okay.
So I think what I understand is that he has to be a certain amount of hydration as well as his weight's got to be down to a certain level. That didn't happen. Now the fight's been canceled.
First off, you sit there and you say that didn't happen. Can't happen because you didn't even have a weigh-in. If you're going to have a fight, Josh, if you're going to have a fight, as simple as it gets, if you're Jake Paul, you fought all these guys that were 170-pound fighters for their entire career. Now you're finally fighting someone that is in your basic weight class. And now you're putting weight restrictions on him because he can only weigh so much the night of the fight. All of this is, and I'm not saying that he wasn't going to get into the fight, but this is mind games. This is tricks. You've seen it before. You've seen people pull this crap where there's more things going on in the back that the one fighter has to deal with than the other. It's all part of screwing with somebody. Japan used to do it all the time. Jake Paul's now doing it. And I'm not Jake Paul is doing his thing. I have nothing to say, but when you look at Rahman and you look at his last fight where he got knocked out, okay, and then how much time there was between that knockout and for him to actually have a camp, because I heard people in the camp, there was people that I know that were around his camp, and he wasn't looking good. And there's reasons why he wasn't looking good. And you look and you go, hey, is this a fight that, should sell out Madison Square Garden? No, it's not. It's a gimmick fight. And so give me real fights. If Jake Paul wants to fight, Rahman, fine. I don't have a problem with it. The fact that it's being pulled it's like no loss. I don't care. Not a big deal to me.
I think where you're running into a problem is that the nostalgia of him fighting is over. It's over. Like, here's the thing. It was one thing when he was fighting guys, basketball players and retired MMA guys. There was a little bit of that excitement of like, oh, this is fun. Now you're trying to present him to me as a real fighter. Yeah. Well, now that's gone. I don't care anymore. It was fun when there was a gimmick, when there were gimmick fights.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's like, oh, we want to see him fight a real fighter. No, now you're trying to put him off onto me that he's a real fighter. He's not a real fighter. Maybe he's a
decent fighter. I'm not saying he's not.
He's decent, but I'm saying like he's not a top level fighter that I'm going to pay $79 or $59 to watch. on a pay-per-view card. If you want to put him, here's the thing. I have nothing against him. If you want to put him on the opening fight or the fight right before the co-main event of, say, I'm just throwing a name out here, Canelo and Triple G, that's a bonus for me. I'll pay for that. I'll pay to watch, I'll give a little bonus in there for the Canelo Triple G, and you want to put him as right before that. There's a little excitement there. I got it. But to say he's a main event in Madison Square Garden, I'm sorry, man. I'm not buying a ticket to the fight. I'm not buying a ticket to the fight, and I'm not buying the pay-per-view. No way.
Yeah,
you're not going to force me to believe that he is that caliber of a fighter just because he's a YouTube guy. Sorry. It ain't happening. You can't do that. They've lost their way in trying to book this and trying to sell this to the fans as if he is a big enough draw to continue to do this 2 or 3 times a year. It doesn't happen. It's not going to happen. It's not working for the real boxing fans. It's not working for the real hardcore fight fans. It's not working. You're not going to get us to spend $59, $79, $69, whatever it is you want to charge. You're not going to get us to do it. And that's the problem. So, like I said, if they wanted to push this onto, it doesn't have to be Canelo and Triple G, but I'm just throwing out names. But if you wanted to throw it onto, I think Danny Garcia fought last night. If you want to throw it on that card, I would have jumped on it and be like, you know what? That's a bonus. Now you're adding flavor to these guys. I get it. But no, the rest of it is done. This thing is over, John. This whole thing, if they're going to keep trying to push him as a real boxer, it's over. People don't care. They want to see him fight the Greg Hardys. Go fight Greg Hardy. That's a gimmick fight. I'll take that. I'll pay your $49 or whatever it is to watch that fight.
It's exactly what you're saying. When you look at it and you go, hey, there's nothing there, because it's not like I'm seeing someone special. When I see a boxer and I see a Terrence Crawford, I will pay to watch that guy because he is that special, that good at what he does. I'll pay to watch Ryan Garcia versus a Tank Davis. I'll pay for that because that's a real fight. That's something that's interesting. Both guys are interesting. Both have, specific things about them that make them to where you want to watch them. There's nothing. I mean,
no.
There's the banter. I'll give it to Jake. Jake's very good at trying to sell his fights. He's very good at the promotion of it. He does the right things. He says good things, but he's not an interesting fighter.
Yeah, he could be a social media president all he wants. Like I said, I have nothing against him.
No.
I love his marketability. I love what he does. But I called it last night, John. After this fight was canceled, what did I say?
WWE, baby.
And I laid it all out in my tweet, man.
I said,
if you guys don't
Stephanie
follow me,
McMahon eating them up now.
I said
more
the podcast,
Vince.
Dave, man. I said, look, I already put on there. I said in my tweet, Jake Paul's going to go to the WWE, join his brother Logan. They're going to become tag team champions. Jake's going to betray his brother because he's envied him because he's got better looks and he's the older brother. Then he's gonna betray him.
The
then they're gonna have.
storyline is already written.
Yes, it's already written, buddy. I've already got this whole thing laid out. Then he's gonna end up betraying his brother, and he's gonna beat his brother or whatever after one of their matches. Then they're gonna fight. They're gonna prop this thing up to be the biggest WrestleMania pay-per-view ever. It's gonna be huge.
No,
Watch,
because what's gonna happen is his brother's gonna have that big fight, and he's gonna be losing, and his brother Jake's gonna come out and save him. Save him.
Ooh.
No.
Save him.
Jake Paul. It's going to be
And
Jake
they're
Paul
going to
versus
hug
Logan.
in the middle of the WWE ring.
That is so funny. You're really crushing Podcast Dave's dreams right now. Just crushing his dreams right now. Just crazy.
I love it.
All right, well, that's going to wrap up the talk on the Jake Paul situation.
Yeah, thank God.
Look, let's. There's something else I wanted to get into. Can you pull up the Bellator rankings?
Oh God, please don't.
You motherfucker. I'm looking at these things.
I hate those rankings. They're horrible.
Yeah.
They're done by blind people.
One that really, really bothers me.
Which are you talking about? Pound for pound?
No, lightweights. Go to the lightweights.
Go to lightweights. Okay.
Actually, you can go. Yeah, go to lightweights. Go to lightweights. I really want to lose my shit right now. Everyone knows, John, everybody knows that I am teammates. I'm friends. I was
Alexander Shabley. Hold on. No, I'm just looking at this.
John.
This is what's wrong with people. Okay, who are the blind bastards that are the media that are actually doing these rankings? Because I may be wrong. Please tell me if I'm wrong, Josh Thompson. But didn't Alexander Shabley recently, I mean within the last month, knock out Brent Primus in the first round? Brent Primus is ranked 5th. Alexander Shabley is ranked 6th. Unbelievable.
John, I have no fucking clue. And then people want to take these media people serious.
And this is okay. And I want to put this the way it is. I'm bringing up the UFC now. The UFC doesn't use the media for their rankings. You know why? Because they're smart. Because this is the crap you get when you have the media fucking giving you your rankings. This is horrible. This is absolute trash. You can't, you have to laugh at it. It's a joke. Miles Jury, who has lost how many fights in a row now, is ranked above a guy in Rabadanov who's just won his last couple of fights.
Yeah.
How in the world?
It's
embarrassing.
It's really frustrating. Here's the other thing too: is Islam Mamedov has beaten Brent Primus also.
Yeah, I know.
So you've got Shabley and Mamedov, who have both beaten Brent Primus.
They were both below him.
And they're both below him. And Mamedov is not even below him by a little bit. He's below him by a lot.
Well, 3 spots.
It really throws me off. Now, here's the other thing: is I have. Obviously, everyone knows I'm teammates with Usman. I respect him. His coach was my coach. I'm one of the original guys that helped build the AKA
brand
team, the brand, the team. I got nothing but love for any fighter that comes out of there. I don't give a shit if I know them or not. They're from a gym that I was part of my whole almost 20 years.
Yep.
I'm gonna support them. The media got in their own way and they allowed the last name to put him ahead of Tawfiq.
You're right.
And ahead of Shabley. I don't understand how this is even happening and how we're allowing this to happen. And it's not, look, I'm not blaming Bellator because they wanted to do this to where it was a neutral situation where the media was able to do it.
When neutral gives you a pile of dog crap, it's time to stop it.
But what do you do, John? What's the solutions? Let's not complain about it. Let's try to work out some solutions. What do you do?
You go to the people that actually watch your fights. You go to the people that actually understand your fighters. You go to the people that actually know exactly where someone's level is at based upon the competition that they have faced. And right now, we don't have that. I mean, Bellator doesn't have that. It's not my call. I've looked at it and I go, it's a joke. I won't use it. And I've told them, I won't use your rankings. Your rankings are a joke because they're stupid. And if you follow them, then you're stupid. I say this all the time, Josh. You know what? When you see someone that's a fool and you follow them, consider yourself a fool too. It is just what it is. You know? And so to look at those and to use those when you know that they're trash, and there's no point.
Yeah, what's frustrating to me is that the media this is all anonymous. We don't know which media is actually voting on this.
Oh, I know some of them.
But you can tell they don't watch the fights. You can tell they don't know what happened.
No.
You can tell. And so when I'm looking at this, there's no way, like I said, teammates with Usman, friends, all these things, right? With a lot of respect for him. He shouldn't be ranked above Tawfiq, who just knocked out Sydney Outlaw as number one contender. Was supposed to fight for the title that night. Just knocked him out. Knocked him out in 12 seconds, 15 seconds.
20-something.
Something like that. Whatever. Yeah, something like that, 20 seconds. Knocked him out then. Now, Shabley beats the number 2 guy at the time, which was Brent Primus. Knocks him out in the second round. Benson Henderson and Peter Queally are fighting in Dublin in September. Why? I understand what they're doing with that Benson and Peter Queally fight, but you've got Tofik, you've got Chablis that should be ranked 1 and 2. Tofik should be number 1. He just knocked out the number 1 contender. I know it's his debut, and he's jumping the line. So if you want to say that Chablis...
Okay, but you got to look at what he did in the past in his last 5 fights. Okay?
He didn't do him in Bellator, and that's why they're not giving him the love. Now, John, let me finish this before you go ahead and make your point, because I agree with you. If I am somebody in the promotions, Coker, Kogan, whoever, is making this call, if I'm somebody in the promotion, I'm thinking to myself, okay, Tofik, maybe we don't have him. Maybe we put him at number 2 where he's at right now, and we put Chablis ahead because he was number 1. He was the number 1 guy behind the champ when he beat Brent Primus. Then you put Chablis there. So now you've got Chablis. I can make Chablis and Tofik 1 and 2. I'm okay because Chablis has 3 fights, I believe, in Bellator. I'm okay with letting that fight happen. I'm okay with him jumping, him being in Usman. The media put him there because of his last name, and it's not fair. It's not fair to the other 2 guys, but it's also not fair to Usman. For me, I feel like he needs one more fight. Now, stylistically, I think he
called for the title fight.
But so did Tofik.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I understand you're saying you believe he needs one more fight. He called for the title fight.
Yes.
So
here's the thing. Stylistically, he's a good matchup. His matchup against Patricki's a good matchup for Usman. If I'm Usman, I'm thinking, hey, I want that fight.
Sure. Because
if Patricki doesn't win, the guy, if Tofik was to beat Patricki again like he did in Ryzen, if Alexander Chablis was to beat him beat Patricki, that matchup for Usman to become a champion just got a lot fucking harder. Because they know each other.
Yeah.
They are around the same circuits in Sambo. They're kind of, obviously Chablis, and they've trained together before because Chablis was at AKA for duration. They know each other. These fighters all throughout the years of training in Sambo, they know each other. They've trained with each other. Ruslan, what was his name? Ruslan. Yes. Ruslan. Not Mamadov. No. Anyways, I was supposed to fight him, I think, in UFC.
Yeah, Ruslan
Khabilov. Yeah. Him and Islam used to tell me all the time. He's like, him and I were buddies. We trained together all the time. He's like, we competed every weekend against each other, almost in the finals every single time. He's like, he's a stud. They know each other.
Yeah.
Islam's got 200-something Sambo fights. Same thing with Habib goes, I've got probably 200, 250 Sambo fights against sometimes almost the same fighters every single week because all they did was compete. Same situation here. Usman trying to get to that Patricki first to get that title to say he's the champ, and then wherever the chips fall after that is where the chips fall. When I look at these rankings, though, John, these guys, they're making it hard for us.
I'm not sure exactly everyone. I want to give credit to Nolan King. Nolan King watches our fights. He writes about it. He understands the fighters. George and Goes, they watch him. They understand him. I'm not sure that they're part of the rankings. I believe Amy Kaplan does it too. But other than that, crazy.
I don't want the media. The media gets caught up sometimes in the name value, and I believe me, Bellator, even the UFC. They get caught up in the name. There's moments where they get caught up in the name value.
Sure.
Can't afford to do that. You cannot afford to do that. And it's a slippery slope. It's a real slippery slope. It can bite you. Yep, it definitely can. All right, I wanted to vent on that because that was really
you vented. And then you made me vent. Way to go.
Man. It's driving me nuts because I know that we've got a lot. Like, you look at this division. Patricki, Usman, Tofik, Benson, Sidney, Primus, Chablis. I mean, Mamadov. You go through these guys, Robotinov. They're all killers. Good fighters.
Huh?
I would almost be willing to bet you're going to do a lightweight tournament next year. And there's 2 other guys that we signed that haven't even fought yet.
Yeah,
that are really good.
Yeah.
And those guys are studs. So when those guys jump into are they going to make it into the rankings? We're going to find out. All right. Is there anything else there, Gian?
Nope, that's all.
Is that everything? Are you sure?
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, from Dallas, Texas, man, we want to thank you guys for tuning in, and go to mybookie.ag. Use that promo code weighing in. Butcherbox.com/weighing in. Remember,
chew some blue.
Lifetime
lifetime
free. No, lifetime free of free bacon. John, you're supposed to be carrying the weight here with the free bacon.
I'm all about the free bacon. I'm all about ButcherBox. ButcherBox is fantastic. It's so good, and I love when it comes because it has free
$10
bacon.
off. $10 off your first order. Use our promo code weighing in, and then also you got Blue Chew. Blue Chew to me is obviously I need it. John, he's too much of a man. He's a man's man. You know, he doesn't need it as often as I do, but hey. But yeah, go to bluechew.com and use our promo code weighing in, man. And they will give you your first month free. First time free. All right, guys. I want to thank you guys so much. And hopefully this setting wasn't throwing you off.
Just moved it around a little bit.
Yeah, I did have to move around a little bit.
It's all good.
Something's coming up.
For everyone out there, have a great week. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you.